Hi there, my name's Daniel. I'm going to be walking through your 2017 Avenger 27Bb. We're just going to start off the back of the unit here. This right here is your water heater service port. You open this up, you do notice that your drain bolt is right here. So if you were wanting to drain the heater for winter or you're going to be leaving the unit for a while, that's how you do so. It's a pressure relief valve here. Whenever you get to your campsite, you're firing it up for the first time, you are just going to want to give this a pull, and there should be a shot of water that comes out. Right now, there's no shot of water coming out because this unit's currently winterized, so you wouldn't want to be firing up that water heater. You're always going to want to make sure that shot of water is there. If it's not there, that's just telling you that the tank is empty. So you're going to want to look into that before you fire up your water heater and burn out your tank. Right at the back corner here, you can take this bumper cap off. Inside here, you will find a 20-foot sewer hose. Just take a note of those 2 ears there. Those are going to be the same 2 ears that connect to your sewer outlet, which I'll show you in a second. We just keep this stored in the back bumper here to keep the stench out of the unit. At this corner of the unit, as well as all 4 corners of the unit, you do have stabilizer jacks. The way that works is you run that down to the ground with the tool we include. Give it another 1/8 quarter turn once that foot contacts the ground, and it's just going to take any bounce or sway you see we have in the unit right now. Inside here is just your exterior shower. You got a 751 key that's going to be included with your unit. You just stick that key in there, give it a turn, pops on open. You got hot and cold water as well as a flexible head. You also have your city water connection right here. So the way that works is you pop this cap off if you're at a site with service. You plug in the water hose, turn it on. It's going to pressurize all your lines. So there's no need to run your water pump. It's your coax inlet. And then just right here is your standard 30 amp plug-in. Most campsites should have this, and you should be able to plug right on in. If your campsite doesn't have this, or you have your trailer at home and you want to run the fridge, we do include a 15 amp park adapter. Just keeping in mind you are going down to 15 amps power, so you're not going to be able to run something like your air conditioner. Right below that power plug-in is just your sewer outlet. Just unscrew this cap, screw on the sewer hose. You got your gray valve and your black valve. Your black valve is going to be your dirtiest water, which is filled from your toilets. So you're going to want to empty that first. Then you have your gray valve, which is your more clean water. You go and do that second, just so you kind of flush out that dirty water out of the hose, just keeping that smell a little less there. And then just right next to that is your 2 low point drains. Let's say you're leaving the unit for a while, you don't want water inside the lines going stale or stagnant. You can just pop these caps off. It's going to drain all the water that's trapped inside the water lines, and you'll be good to go. Just a little further up the unit here, you do have another satellite inlet, as well as your fresh water fill. Stick a garden hose in there, turn it on, fills up your fresh water tank. Inside this compartment here is just some storage. And then right below this little valve here is just your fresh tank drain. Let's say you want to drain that fresh tank, you just crack this valve open. It is just going to drain all the water that's inside the tank. At the front of the unit, you do have your battery that's located inside that black box. And underneath here is your 2 propane tanks. Normally, you can just open up this little access cover and do a change from up top. For the purpose of the video, I will just take it off. You have this little selector valve. With the selector valve pointed this way, you're going to be drawing off this tank. With the selector valve pointed this way, you're drawing off this tank. Let's say this tank runs dry. Just flip it over to this side. You can turn this one on, turn that one off, and you can go and get that one filled. Right at the front here, you do have your tongue jack. One way's up, one way's down. You also have a little level at the front that'll tell you if you're level or not. Inside this compartment, we do include a 25-foot water hose, and there's just that 15 amp park adapter I told you about earlier. And here's that tool for the stabilizer jacks as well. So just stick it on there. One way's up, the other way is down. Side of the unit. This little flap here is for your overhead fan above your stove. You're gonna wanna make sure that guy's open and free, just so it can evacuate the fumes you'd like to. You got your fridge service port, not much you have to worry about there. You got two 110 plugins. Keep note that this is your furnace exhaust. Whenever that's running, it is blowing out hot air, so you're gonna wanna make sure you don't have that blocked. And then just one last storage compartment right in the back corner here. Get inside the unit. You can take this assist handle, fold it 90 degrees, pops on out. Grab your one bottom stair, fold that out, and then fold your last bottom stair out. You can open up the door. Take a step on inside. You do have a light switch on your left. That turns on your porch light as well as your awning strip light. And then the one on the right is going to just do your one entrance light. If you hit that awning button out, the awning's going to start making its way out. You know that awning's fully extended when you see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. There you go, you got that back of the metal tube. Sometimes that flap doesn't always come down the first try, so you just got to bring it back in a little bit and then out, and it'll fold on out. And then if it does start raining, you can take any arm, front or rear. Just pull on it down. That's going to change the pitch of the awning head, allowing water to then run off or start raining. Now, if you do like that angle better because it allows for more shade, you can do the same thing with the front arm. Just always making sure you push them back to straight whenever you go to retract your awning. Retracting your awning specifically, you push that button, make sure the fabric's rolling the right way in. And once it contacts the trailer, you're in. Then you just have your slide out button right next to that. Pushing that slide out button out. Slide out's gonna start making its way out, always being mindful on what's on either side of the slide out whenever operating it. You do have your fire extinguisher right down on your left there. That's gonna be just like home, pull the pin and shoot. You're gonna know the slide out's fully extended when you hear the clicking of the motors. There you go, there you heard that clicking. That means it is fully extended. Inside the bedroom space, you do have one light right above your head. You turn that on. All the blinds inside the unit all do kind of work the same way. They just kind of sit where you leave them. You do have plugins on either side of the bed as well as storage above and beside the head. Right on this back wall here, there is a TV backer on this back wall. For the bedroom, if you were to want to mount a TV there, you also have a coax plug-in and two 110 plugins. Then you do come to your main entertainment area where you have your stereo. That's going to be just like home, minus you got A, B, and C speakers. A speakers is going to be the front speakers. B speakers is going to be the rear speakers. And C speakers will be your exterior speakers. And that is going to be about it for that. And then you just have some storage space as well as inside here. You do have your little black button here right next to that main cable outlet. Turning that button on with the green light on is just turning the antenna on the roof on. So you're going to want to make sure you have that on. It is going to improve radio frequency. All the other lights inside this unit are just on their own center push buttons. So you can turn them on and off as you would like. Inside the main living space, or the main kitchen area, you do have your microwave that's just like home. Then you have your overhead fan with a light on it. Always making sure you're running that fan whenever you're running that stove to evacuate the fumes. If you turn that over to light, you are able to just light these burners up. Simple as that. You have a sink with hot and cold water inside this cabinet here. If you pop this open, these little two screws here, you undo those. That will give you access to your water pump. And then you do have your Dometic fridge to turn that on. You're just pushing that button. It's first, with the button flush, it's going to be on auto. So it's first going to search for shore power. If shore power is taken away, it will switch over to gas. If you want it to run solely on gas, you just have to have that button depressed and the fridge is only going to be running on gas. and then just pressing that button to turn it off. Inside the fridge, you do have your temperature controller. All the way up is at its coldest settings. All the way down is at its warmest setting. In the dinette area, you do have the option of turning this table into a bed. You can just take the feet out from underneath it, sit that tabletop on those ledges, and take your back cushions, fill in the center, and you can have another bed. I will mention that this window here is the fire exit in the unit. So you just take those handles, fold them out, and you can push the window out and hop on out. Just making sure you latch those back up. Right here on this wall, you do have your thermostat. Obviously, with the temperature all the way to the left, it's at its coolest setting, and with the temperature all the way to the right, is at its hottest setting. And then you have your your fan control on the right. So we currently have it on the fan running on full time on high fan. If you switch it one over from that, one to the left, you go on full time low fan. And then you get into auto low fan and auto high fan. Auto is just turning it into an on-demand system. So once that thermostat notices or recognizes that it's reaching its desired temperature, it's going to turn off the system. And then just next to that, you do have your actual system control. So with it all the way to the right is on heat. Right next to that is off. Then you turn it one over from that and you get into fan. So that's just going to be moving air with the air conditioner. There's no cooling involved. And then if you switch it one over to cool, it will turn on the cooling effect of the air conditioner. Whenever you are running this air conditioner, you have two options. You can leave these louvers open, in which case it's going to dump all its air into the living space. Or you can close these louvers and it will just move all its air through all the ceiling ducting you see we have around this unit. Whenever you do have your furnace on, the furnace moves all its air through the floor portals and floor registers that we have. With that being said, both the stove and the furnace are propane powered. We do have all these units do have LP detectors right here near the ground. If that guy ever starts going off, you are just going to want to turn off the main supply of propane to the unit and open up all the windows to air it out. Right next to that is just your circuit breaker panel. Pop that open. Whenever a breaker pops, it's going to sit in the middle, so you just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. And whenever a fuse pops, there'll be a little red indicator light just letting you know which one's popped. If you take a step with me over here, you do have your little sink bathroom area, medicine cabinet. Right up on the wall here is just the switch to turn on your hot water heater. If you turn that switch on, this light's going to illuminate. At that point, the water heater is going to try lighting itself 3 times. If on the 3rd try it doesn't light, this light's going to stay on, at which point you do have to just turn it off and then back on again to reset it. But as soon as that water heater lights, this light is supposed to go out. Right down from that, you do have your water pump switch as well as your monitor built into your monitor panel system. So you turn that switch on, it's going to light itself up, turning on your water pump, drawing from your fresh water tank. And then you do just have your gray, black, and fresh, which goes empty, 1/3, 2/3, and full. And then you do have your battery, which goes low, fair, good, and charging. We're currently plugged in, so we're charging. If you ever have an outlet that doesn't work, all the outlets in this unit are GFI protected. The main GFI plug is right here, so you got tests on the bottom, reset up top. If you ever have a plug that doesn't work, just make sure you aren't tripped. You do have 2 bunk beds here, both with lights inside them. The bottom one having a window. And then if you open up this door, it does give you access to the bathroom. With your light switch just on your left there, toilet and a shower with hot and cold water. Another thing I will mention is just underneath this mattress here, if you lift this up, this back panel will be able to pull off. There might be a screw holding it down. That's going to give you access to your hot water heater to turn those bypass valves for winterization or for summerization in this case. That is going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.